Hello and welcome to part 2 of my eyeshadow collection. This section may have palettes as well as just single eyeshadows. I'm not sure if I'm going to add those in. Just wanted to advise of that in case I do. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more organized. I've went ahead and taken the palettes that were actually inside of packaging out. There will be some palettes that are in a sleeve, but those are easier to take off or just slide off compared to a full package that has to be open and closed and then taken out. But anyway, the first palette, or this is from the Violet Voss brand. This is the Berry Burst Fun Size palette. And I'm going to try to cover the mirrors up as well. So this would be an ideal palette for a Valentine look. You have your browns in here. You have some mauves, some pinks. You also get some mattes as well as some of the sparkle or shimmer shades. This is the Violet Sunset palette, the Pro Series. This is the Oceanic palette from Ace Beauté. And I also have the Flare palette. Packaging is the same, just a different design or color, I guess. And I haven't used this one yet. And these are from the old formula. I have not tried the new formula, so I can't compare one to the other because I don't know. I can't honestly say if they're the same or not. So this is the She Glam, the Afterglow palette from Shein. These don't come with a mirror, but they do have some pretty shades in here. And you get some mattes and some shimmers. I think I only swatched this palette, but it looks like these colors will be a little bit of work to actually build up. They will show, but they're not as pigmented as some of the other brands that I have in my collection. And you will definitely need a primer or eyeshadow primer, I guess I should say. Next we have the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. And that's how it looks. And it has the feature to actually punch out the shadows. You can kind of move them around if that's what you desire, or if you have several Natasha Denona palettes you want to mix and match the shades, you have the option to do that as well. This one is new to my collection. This is the Pat McGrath Artistry palette, and probably the only Pat McGrath palette that I will have. Let's see if it's getting the whole thing. Yeah. So I think I swatched. No, I didn't. I meant to. So let's see. Let me clean my hand. I was about to say I swatched some of these, but I did not. So it seems like it'll be pretty pigmented. I can say they aren't as soft as I thought that they would be, but I'm not sure if this palette is a different formula from the other palettes, like the Mothership palettes. I'm not sure, because this is my first, well, one and only. No, I have a mini palette. I forgot. Okay, so this is the second palette that I have, but I really haven't tested these particular shadows out to see, but I know that that's one of the claims that, or not claims, one of the things that I hear from a lot of influencers, that their formula is really soft. So it's not, it's average to me. I don't know how it shows though, so I have to see once I use it. Let's see. I do have a couple of palettes from Dominique Cosmetics. This is the Coral Bloom palette. This one is the Latte 2 palette. And then the last one from them is the Berries and Cream palette. Gonna move on to the Rue Cosmetics United Peachy Nudes palette. These are from Alter Ego. This is the Luster Charm palette. And this is a dupe for one of the, I think it's a Pat McGrath palette. I can't remember which one. But I actually like this palette. I like the formula. The colors that I used for my look were very pigmented. And the price for them was under $30 because I have two. The second one that I have is the Canyon palette. I have not used this palette. It actually came to me damaged, and it was too late for me to send it back. So here it is. It definitely looks like it has been used. Unfortunately, it has not. Moving on. I have the Mercury Retrograde palette from Huda Beauty. And I also have the Amethyst Obsessions palette. It's one of the minis. The next one is the One Size Patrick Star Visionary palette. And this, I like this palette because it gives, to me, it gives a little bit of grungy, a little bit of cool tones, a little bit of warm. And you get some shimmer shades, but they aren't glittery, I guess is the best way I can say that or describe them. And then the last two palettes in this organizer are from Clarity Cosmetics. This is the Carnival palette. And this palette is very pigmented. And then I recently purchased their wedding, Mauve Wedding palette. And that is how she looks. So I'm going to pull some more palettes. These next palettes palettes are from Kaale Beauty. This is the Behind the Mask palette. This one is called Beach Days. Oh, my finger's caught. This one is Los Angeles. And I think, let's see, yeah. This one is Poetry of Love. It looks like a magazine. Comes with a mirror. And this is how the actual palette looks. And we are going to move on to the Pro palettes that I have from them. They are organized in order. This is the Pop That Glitz palette, which is the ES108 palette. Comes with a mirror, and it has only glitters and shimmers. Or pressed glitters, I guess I should say. The next one is the Pro 9 palette. You Had Me at Aloha. And I'm about to knock my... The palettes are made the same as far as the packaging. They just have different colors, of course. And again, this is You Had Me at Aloha. This is Havana Club, which is Pro number 10. Gentle Teaser, number 11. This one is the Essentials. And it is number 12. I think I pressed my finger in that one. Mind Trap is the next one, and it's number 13. Goddess Nim. I think this is one of the first ones that I bought from the brand. I bought this one and a gold one, and then once I got those two, I was kind of hooked to the collection. The next one is Cleo Queen. And this is number 16. Now I know that I am missing some of the Pro palettes. So I have the ones within my collection in order, but I know that there's some that I am missing. This one is the Like Totally palette. Another good palette for Valentine. This one is Mobbing Slow. It's number 18. one? Very Good is the name of this one. Pro number 19. Look at this shade. That's pretty pigmented. We only have 4 more in this collection. 5, I'm sorry. This one is From Miami to Bahamas. And its pro number is 20. I don't think I've opened this one. Let's see. Right the Wave, number 21. Cool Whatever. And it looks like that. It's number 22. And this one is 23. Say Hello. And the last one from this brand is Soleil Blaze, number 24. That is the color story for that one. This kind of looks like the, what is the palette from Juvia's? Let's see if I can find it. Nubian Earth. And I think the one from Morphe. Yeah. It kind of had those swirls in it before I used it. And I think the one from Morphe does too. Let's see. What is it? Gilded Desert. Oh, it doesn't have it. Okay, so it's just that one. I knew I saw that shade somewhere. Okay, so that is all of Cara Beauty. And this is just how I store those pro palettes. I use a acrylic organizer that I purchased from Ross. And I do have several like this. You just place them in the slot. This one, the slots do not move. But the recent one that I purchased from Ross, it was featured in my last haul video. The slots in it do actually move so that if you have something that's larger to put in, you can make room for those particular items. So I like that. Here's a similar organizer that I use for my Revolution palettes. So this is Revolution Pro, Revolution. There may be some Planet Revolution in here. I don't think so. But we're going to go through these palettes as well. This is the Tropical Twilight palette. This is a collaboration with Tammy and Makeup Revolution. This still has the film on it because I have not yet used this palette, so I apologize for the glare. This is the Revolution Maxi Reloaded Infinite Bronze palette. This is new to my collection as well. But this is how it looks. Pretty big palette. I have the Revolution collab with Patricia Bright. Or Patricia Bright. There's no S, I'm sorry. And that is how this palette looks. has a colorful story to it. So you get some purples, greens, different shades of pink. You also get some browns in here, some grungy tones. You get some pressed glitters in there. And I like the Forever Flawless palettes that come like in the tin packaging. This one is the Flamboyance palette. Unconditional Love. Utopia palette. This is the Chilled palette. Oh, I didn't close that one all the way. Hydra Turtle. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. This one is fairly new. This is the collab with the Plastic Boy. This is from the Courage, what is it? Wild Animal. I think there were 3 of those, the Wild Animal palette, but this is Courage. This one is the Day to Day Sybil palette. The Jeweled palette. I think this one is open. This one, Ultimate Lights palette. And I do have a look on my channel with this palette. This is the Golden Hour eyeshadow palette. Glam Mood Golden Hour. And I need to play around with this palette a little bit more because I really didn't like it the first time I used it. The formula seems to be, or these shadows seem to be soft, which is kind of a different formula from the shadows that are in those tin pans. So I am going to play with this a little bit more to see if I like it. But I do like the color story. The last one is the Needs palette, the Emily Edit. And it doesn't have a lot of eyeshadows. It gives you products to do a full face. Gives you eyeshadows. You have a blush, a brightener, a highlight, bronzer. Some of these are too light for me. Like I would not brighten with this. This maybe, but definitely not that. And I think this is all of the Revolution palettes. So I will grab more palettes. I'm going to move on to Juvia's Place. Technically, this is not an eyeshadow palette, but you can use it for eyeshadows. This is the Eye Sculpt Eye Shade palette. the Rebel Honey, Army, Mints, and the Grays. I'm gonna pull these 4 at a time. This is the Well Loved Chocolates palette. The mauves. I'm sorry, this is the taupes. Vanessa palette. The nudes. I'm gonna pull 4 more. Now we have the mauves, the sweet pinks, the violets, the berries. This one is the blushed rose, the bronze rustic, the Nubian glow, and the Nubian royal. I Live, I Love Ice. Allure 1. Allure 2. And this is the Allure 3. This is the Nubian Earth, Nubian 3 Coral, and the Saharan. This one is the Warrior. The Warrior 2. The Warrior 3. The Tribe palette. The Festival. The Nomad. And the Zulu. And I'm going to grab more palettes. We have the Masquerade Mini, the Magic Mini. The Coffee Shop. Oh, camera's going everywhere. Let's see if I can get it back in focus. Okay, I think we're good. This is the Coffee Shop. The Nubian 2. The Wahala. The Wahala 2. And the Culture palette. I do have the Beauty Glazed color board. I purchased this from Amazon. It just opens up and it has different eyeshadow trays with different color stories on it. And it does have some pressed glitters and some matte shades. Let's see. So the green is the first color story. And then you have your orange and browns. And then some blues and some cool tones. And then you have pinks and purples and mauves. And I think that's it for this particular color book. I have some older palettes that I keep for sentimental reasons. Two of them are from the Okaland brand. This is the Charming palette. And the other one that I have is the Natural palette. This is the Metals palette. I'm trying to think. I think, yeah, this came from like DD's or beauty supply store. I think it was DD's though, and I used this for a long time, so I hold on to these. And then I have a palette that I got from, I think this came from Wish. Now I do not like eyeshadows that are in the pan, like in these little circles. But when I actually received this, it definitely served its purpose, and I was loving on this palette. So I keep this one. I have two that are all beat up. This is from the brand Absolute. And you can kind of see the colors that I favored in the palettes. But still to this day, these palettes will still work if I needed to use them. Because I do sometimes go in them to grab like one of those bronze shades. And then this one is a Modessa brand. Oh, it's all beat up. Like if I take this a loose, they're probably gonna fall to pieces. So I won't open it. But there's a couple of shades. Like almost this whole row is empty. Some of these are empty. And I think this came from the beauty supply store. But I love this palette when I was using it. So I think I keep these so that I can remember where I started. And I use these for motivation when I lose interest or if I am overwhelmed with something else that may cloud my mind from dealing with makeup and sitting in my beauty area, I do refer back to these. So that's why they're still here. And I do have a few single shadows. These are the Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. This one is in the shade Ladybug. It's still in its original packaging. This one is Harmony. Mighty Morphin. Bubbly. Ritz. And this one is Meant for You. And these are kind of old, but I still have them because they weren't opened. These are the Maybelline Eye Studio. This one is, these are baked eyeshadows, and it was they came in duos. So this one is Mocha Mirage, and this one is Carbon Frost. You can't hardly see that one, but the one on the left is like a charcoal color. This is an eyeshadow quad that I purchased from Shop Miss A. The palette name is Brandy. This is a single shadow from Maelle. The shade name is Quartz. This one's open, so I can open that one. And then I have a little smoky eye palette that I bought from Shop Miss A as well. And it just gives you the shades that you would need to achieve a smoky eye. And then I have some from the brand Sister. Let's see if I can read the shade names on here. Probably not. I don't even see them. I think when I bought these and I did the haul video, they didn't have shade names on them, so I'll just show them to you. This one is kind of a champagne mixed with mauve. And this one, to me, looks like a brick tone. Or I can go for a shade of bronze as well. Let's see, this one. I think these kind of shift because this one looks pewter and then it also looks champagne as well. So based on how the light is hitting it. And I think that is all of my eyeshadows. I thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to post 1 and 2 together, but it just didn't work out that way. But I think this is better. So I hope that you all enjoyed the content of this video. If there's anything that you would like to see from me or on this channel, if you want to see any swatches of any particular palettes or shades, just let me know down in the comments. If you have not subscribed already, please do so at this time. Until next time, I hope that you all enjoy your day. Stay blessed and blushed.